What's up, fam? Don Ritchie here, bringing you a quick recap of our system with some trades on SPY and QQQ that we took today. So here in the middle I have SPY, on the left I have the 415 call, and on the right I have the 415 put. So every morning, if you are with us for prep and before open, I am calling out the strikes that I'm watching at open, right? So this morning, like every morning, I call out a couple strikes up and down away from at the money. And, today being a 0 day, I try to stay within half an ATR of where we're going to open. Since we had a gap up last night, we closed at about 410 here on SPY, and this morning was set to open at about 415. Typically I would have called out the 420 call about 5 points up, currently about half an ATR on SPY, and about 5 points down for the put. But since we had gapped up, and we know that big money loves to fill gaps, I actually called out the 415 call itself, knowing that we would open above and well above our beast entry zone. And I had also called out the 410 put and anything closer, depending on what your account can tolerate, right? People always ask us what strikes to pick, how do we know what strikes to pick, and that's what I typically try to do. Depending on if it's a 0 day or not and what your account can afford. So we opened up with the 415 call. I was expecting a gap fill, right? We get a little bit of turbulence at open as always. And we always say here with our system that either to wait for beast for an entry, or if it's intraday, wait for the burger bottom. Right? You always hear us say, no beast, no feast. So here this morning, the 415 call drops right down to burger bottom. I am not going to bullshit you. I was expecting a gap fill, so I was expecting possibly more to the downside here, but did have some members in our group take this trade right here. And is an excellent entry, right? You're always going to get a shakeout in those first 30 minutes. Why not pop some, right? But I don't like to rush in too early, have all day. Regardless though, some of our people got an entry here, almost down to the cent here on our burger bottom, and we catch a nice pop and a nice ride to our top burger bun. As we arrive here, and also this small white hash line right here is yesterday's open. I have it on this side a little bit more differentiated. But as we get to this burger top in yesterday's open, we begin to top out some. Right? At the same time on equity, we are arriving at burger top as well. And we're starting to top out here at this previous key level I had marked. And at the same time, the put has now arrived at our beast entry zone, which today was overlapping a bit with the burger bottom. So over here, I have marked these key zones of ours because they're well and separated. But when they are on top of each other like this, this is a good entry zone for us. So again, all three of these things are happening at the same time. This is a great entry for us. And again, we are measuring this entry on this put also by what the call is doing. The call is topping out. Equity is topping out at our levels. And the put is basing right at our entry zone. Whether it be burger bottom, the beast zone itself, or both of them overlapping, this is a great entry right here. So here I took my first entry, but I didn't just take my first entry, I started playing this chop. By the time I got to this breakout, my position was paid for. After identifying this range right here on our beast bottom, this red hash line, I took a couple trades from what was about 80 cents up to $1.10. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that 20-30% a couple times rapid fire is going to pay for this final move. Whether this final move is against me or for me, I already paid for it by the time I got here. So eventually we start to break, right? The 415 call starts to give out. On equity, we start to give out. We break below VWAP. We get some thick candles to the downside. My put that has been now basing at Beast, I loaded up a couple, and we got a nice ride. I actually chose at this point to load a couple more than I had previously been for other reasons as well. VIX had just given me a buy signal here as we are about to cross 25 once again. You know, we crossed it here earlier in the morning. Sorry, it's a little busy right here, but we crossed it here in the morning over this 25, right? Came back to it, got under it, got a buy signal. I was like, oh, I'm going to take a little extra risk, right? Again, the only thing I'm risking against here is low of day or this burger bottom, whatever my account tolerates. This is a very low risk move to either keep chopping and keep taking 20-30% or to take off or to get stopped out for a couple cents. Again, all paid for by the time anything actually happened. So the put takes off, equity begins to drop, we cut through open level, we get down to this burger bottom. I automatically have take profits at these levels. Automatically. I have them out before we get there. Because sometimes these things are very fast and can go against you and you don't get filled and you don't have time to try to fight for an exit. So we get here to the top of the burger on the put, right? At the same time, 11:15. We are fading below burger bottom on SPY. Now, this is a very strong move, and again, I am collecting my puts on the way down here because we could stall at this level. We stalled at this level already once this morning. So this is a strong pickup. What happens though? We go through a bit. Sellers are a little bit stronger. And at that same time, the same call, right? I'm watching the 415 call and the 415 put. The call has now arrived at Beast. So again, I'm expecting this downside move on equity to lose steam in this area. Why? Because we have our levels, including Friday's high, right? The previous day's high is here as well as our burger bottom. Burger top on the put, right? Which is what I'm in right now. I'm collecting here because of all of these things. And because we are arriving now at our entry zone on the calls. So again, I am now rinsing and repeating the same thing I just did. I am now in this zone right above our Beast entry zone, picking apart 60 to 80 cents, 70 to 90 cents, whatever I can to try to pay for some of my position when this breaks out. And again, you know, we always say that our Beast zone is like the wholesale price. Big money will fight to defend contracts at this price if they are still interested in them and want to use them later. Something like 80% of options expire worthless, but they milk them on the way to their death, right? They get tons of money, tons of cash out of them before they die. So again, I'm in here battling, and this time I wasn't so lucky, right? I am still though in these puts. I layered up here, and I'm also playing calls at the same time because I can now expect a move like we just saw on the puts, right? I am expecting possibly this to happen right here. This time didn't work out. We failed, but it's okay. I paid for it, for some of it along the way. I definitely paid for all of it as the put was coming up here and collecting. And guess what? This call might fail here as we reject Friday's high, the previous day's high. But what happens? Our put comes back to its open level. Now again, I'm in it from down here, so I don't mind picking more up at this level. Also, I know that this is a key level, right? I had all these levels on my chart this morning. And it's an open level, a great level to play off and a great level to risk off. So I buy some more here. And boom, we go higher. These calls that I missed out on over here didn't matter. I paid for them once again on this move. And it's okay to play both sides. You need to play around your current positions. We catch a pop here and we're slow grinding up to the previous day's high. As long as we're under that previous day's high, I'm expecting a rejection. Throw our beast levels on top of that. We got some strong levels here. So again, we get that rejection. We go lower. We come down to the shaded area that we provided at open. We kiss it perfectly, and we top out here and crack through some more of our take profits. Again, I'm taking profits automatically at these levels, not thinking twice about it. And then once again, we get a little rally, right? The 415 call is now kind of far, so they don't give it too much juice, stays under our zone, and like I've been talking about this week, even our entry zone will be resistance when approached from below. So what do we typically do? We start to get a little closer, right? If you start to get a little closer, we can probably find something that will have bounced right at the money, or right at beast. I'm sorry. And sure enough, here we have it. We get this pullback, right? And calls start to settle once again at beast. I'm sorry, that was here for this pickup, right? Get a little closer and a little bit farther. Okay. But again, as always, just looking and using both sides to gauge steam in these moves. We had a very similar move today in QQQ, right? As indices typically like to move together. So let me move all this to QQQ. It was the 310. I'm going to do the same on both sides. And move this to a put. Right, and we had the same scenario today. We're expecting a gap fill. We get a little turbulence at open. Calls start to chop near burger top as well as the equity. And then our members were here waiting, ready for this put to arrive at beast. Put arrives at beast. We chop for a little bit. Again, fighting for that position. Sometimes, these ranges are a little bit smaller. It's, kind of hard to bring yourself to fight for 10 or 20 cents on a 50, 60 cent contract. But again, that's like 30, 40%, 50%. And the most important thing is that you're preparing for the move out, right? And we got the same thing as the SPY example we were just looking at. We base and beast for a little bit, never lose our zones completely, and we get a rocket ship to the moon. You would have got in here for 50 cents, 70 cents. I know we had some members, some of our top traders as well, in here for under 70 cents. And we catch a fat move up to about $4 or so. Right, and again, we're using both sides to measure these moves. Once we got this pullback and this hard heavy drop, we were watching the call side to gauge when the move would stop. And even after so long using the system, I'm just still blown away about how we will free fall in price and stop just within cents of these levels. Crazy, crazy. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this review. I hope that this helps you see what we see, and please, as always, feel free to ask us questions. Hit us in the DMs, and we'll catch y'all later.